Right, we're back on, aren't we? Windows 11 seemed to have worked perfectly, except when I went to do this. Don't know. One of them things. But guess what? Turning it off and turning it back on again worked a fucking treat. So yeah, that's about the it's about the limit of my technical expertise. Bootnecks don't do technology. Take it up with Bill fucking Gates. I was squared away there. Yeah, it's that bastard Bill. I haven't forgiven him since Windows 98. So, how's everyone doing? All right? How was your weekend? Stephen on. All right, Carl. Bootneck's do technology. It's a lie. Marcus, MGH, Egg Fried Rice, Ralph, Pepe Trent, Matt C4, Patrick Waters, Mr. Max, Craig Hewitt, The Reckoning, Jack London's in. All right, thanks for modding as usual. Paul Mank, Sean, Harold, Tommy, Winston, Champagne Socialist, Mike Taylor, Steve Stew, Bill, Two Tone, Origami, everyone else, Mark McCoy. I've already done you. Son of Max, Widow Shins, Hello, Garth, Dance Biker Dance, Ralph K. I think that's everybody. Not too many in today because I've been playing silly buggers, haven't I? You actually liked Vista, did you? 98 was shit. 95 was alright. XP, right? That was alright. Anyway, Windows 11 seems fine. To the point where it doesn't really seem like they've changed hardly anything. Which is why I thought everything was tickety-boo. The only difference is they've put everything in the middle of your screen, your taskbar. So, they've just copied off Apple, haven't they? Got the coof again, Matt? No, not really. I don't think I've got much of a cough. Probably just because I'm dehydrated from the weekend. I'll tell you what, though. Saturday night out in Santa Barbara was fucking shocking. Like, the day was good, obviously, because I like to start early. Started about 2 in the afternoon. Went on to about 3 or 4 breweries, and then we went to a boozer in the middle of the town called the James Joyce Irish Bar, obviously. And it was fucking heaving with young people dressed up as ridiculous shit. It made me laugh as well because at one point my wife was pretty drunk and there was this dippy young lass dressed up like a fucking fairy or something talking to us. And she turned to me and said, "Is she a hooker?" Like, I don't know why when she was pissed she was convinced this woman was a prostitute. But yeah, it was a bit annoying, so we went home early. I think we drank from about 2 till about 9:30. And then I was like, fuck this. This is all the fair weather drinkers came out about 9 o'clock. So it was a bit shit after that. No, Matty, I have the coof. Oh, you do, Tommy. All right, we'll get well soon. Carl Burton, 3 or 4. That's 3 or 4's now. Is it doing Englishman? You always have 10 pints when you go out. And if you go to the breweries out here, you get them little shitty. See in one of the photos I put up, them little shitty taster things where it's like a 4 ounces. And you know what? That shows how small they are. An American pint's only 16 ounces. You get the piss stuck out here out in America because when you ask for a pint, you only get 16 ounces. It's a full 4 ounces less than a British pint because our pints are 20. So, you know, that soon adds up that if you have 8 pints, you've been robbed of 2 there. How much a drink? It's about, for a flight, it's about $8. So you get $8. You get like 4 little ones. And I like going through them all, which is quite childish. But for some reason, you know, when you're I still feel like a bit of a tourist at heart. And you want to have a taste of everything, don't you? So whenever I go to these breweries, I get the little mini ones all. I'm like a total fucking dickhead. But, you know, if you add up 80 of them, it counts as a decent drink. Yeah. How many mils in a 6-pack bottle? The bottles are the same, 330. But yeah, I think I'm about right with my weights and measures. I believe a British pint is 568 millilitres and an American pint is less than 500. So it soon adds up. You know what? Let's Google it out of interest. American pint. Oh, it's 473. There you go. American pint. Only 473 mil. Bit shit that, isn't it? So it's a fair size difference. 473 mil in an American pint, 16 fluid ounces. British one is, as I correctly stated, you know how I knew it was 568 mil? Because of reading the can of Stella. When they first launched like proper pint cans. Because they never used to do that back in the day, did the cans were always like 440 or 500 mil or something. And then obviously Stella started selling them everywhere, them big pint ones, 568 mil. So yeah, it's a fair difference. And soon adds up. It does make me laugh because I look at old photos of me when I used to drink in my local when I was a teenager. And I found one the other day, me and my dad, like that. And the pint looks fucking massive. I thought I was like slightly smaller then or something, but the pint's like nearly as big as my head. I was like, yeah, that's a proper pint, not these pansy American ones. Yeah, I thought everything was bigger in America, Blue Van Man. Yeah, apparently not. Pints, much, much smaller. As you can see by the glassware example there. These American pints don't cut the mustard. There's a place near Disneyland, because this is true story. One of the first times I came out here, I said to my missus, I really want to go to Disneyland because I've never been. But I was in my late 20s at the time. So I wasn't that interested. I just felt like that while I'm visiting, I'm being a tourist, I should go to Disneyland. So she drove me over there. It was about an hour and a half from where she lived. Gets all the way over there, walks up to the front gate, fucking looked up the side. It was like, admission was about, I think it was about $120 or something. I was like, a fucking $120 to go into bastard Disneyland. You're having a laugh, aren't you? I'm not doing that. 120. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll just get my photo stuck outside the cunt, and then I can show that to my mates, and then I went to Disneyland. So I literally just stood outside the fucking front gate. She took a photo, and I was like, right, let's go on the piss then. So I get on my phone, Googled it, British pub, which is typically the bog standard. Because I want to go to a pub, it'll be either a British or an Irish pub, or a good-looking American bar that's not one of these brightly lit, airy. Because, that's what I like. I like lots of wood, dimly lit, smells a bit. That's what I like in a bar. I don't like the American ones where it's like brightly lit like in here. Loads of natural light and everything's like metal and glass and there's like 15 TVs. They're the American bars I don't like. The ones like Hooters or something. The bog standard American, like a sports bar. I like dimly lit. Like a British pub. Lots of wood, dimly lit, smells a piss. That's my bog standard. So straight away I went on there and there was a pub we found called The Ship. And I was like, oh, The Ship, that sounds great. And it says on here they do imperial pints. So we went over, went in, had a pint, fucking lovely. She loves ESB, Extra Special Bitter by Fuller's. And I was like, this is mint. We're staying here. And she was like, oh, all right then. So I goes over the road, found us a hotel. I think I ended up spending about 100 on the digs and about 200 on booze. So I should have just went to Disneyland. It would have been fucking cheaper. But you like what you like, don't you? I'm happy to piss $300 up the wall if I'm enjoying myself. I'm not happy to pay $120 to go and see a paedophile dressed up as a fucking anthropomorphic mouse. Not my idea of a good time. So there you go. Anyway, nobody's come to listen to me talk shit about paedophiles in suits. So let's talk about some news. Let's have a look. What did I pick out today? Oh yeah, there's a few. The Queen. Ordinarily, I wouldn't talk too much about the Queen because, it's not a subject that interests me that much, right? Like I've talked about. I think I am like, again, the man in the street. I think I have a very bog standard opinion about things, which is probably why several hundred people like fucking watching me talk shit on the internet. But, the bog standard opinion of working class people in the UK typically is Status quo. You know, I'm not like a sad old pensioner that wants to build an enormous collection of fucking memorabilia with the Queen's fucking head on it. I don't see the point. I'm not an avid royal. I'm not an avid fan of the royal family. I wouldn't buy a Princess Diana Queen of Hearts ceremonial teapot. Half of the family piss me off. Andrew's clearly a fucking sex pest. And Edward's a little fucking weasel who lasted about 2 weeks when he went down to Limston Commando because he's a shithouse. So there's tons of things I don't like about the royal family. But I'm happy with the status quo, right? The Queen's all right. Wills and Kate are all right. It's a tradition that we've had for 1,000 fucking years, so leave it. It's basically my opinion. But don't want to talk about pedos in suits. No Biden tonight, then. That's a good one. No, we're not going to talk about him, Davey. So I'm not bothered about the royal family, not really, but I am a conservative at heart, and typically I would lean towards, leaving them. However, just as I keep mentioning how Marxism, communism, postmodernism poisons everything, they are doing their very best to turn all of the old school conservative types who are more than happy to see the royal family just basically stay where it is because it's a fuck about getting rid of it, so just leave it. They're doing the best to turn me into a Republican. And if it wasn't for the fact that 8 out of 10 Republicans appear to be staunch communists, I'd turn into one due to the efforts of Chuck. Fuck Chuck is my opinion on Prince Charles. But Prince Philip was quality. So, he's, again, I suppose it's a nice centrist opinion, isn't it? Because I go left to right depending on who the royal is you're talking about. Yay or nay, depends on who we're on about. Prince Philip was fucking brilliant. Queen's sound. The rest of them do my head in. I like William and I like Kate. But the rest of them do my tits in. Anyway, this one is of note, isn't it? Because it says the Queen spotted driving a car. So she's been bad, but she's obviously well enough to drive. So she's starting to feel recovered. And I just want to mention it because, yeah, it's an interesting topic to talk about now, isn't it? The Queen, who I think we all uniformly, even if you don't like the royal family, I think most people, even people like Peter Hitchens, Christopher Hitchens as well. Christopher Hitchens was not really a royal, but he even admitted on numerous occasions, like, even I'll concede that the charms of the current monarch, the nice old lady that sits on the throne, she is sound. She's particularly likeable. She works hard and she keeps her fucking mouth shut, always at the right time. So we like her. But if this old bugger dies on us, it seems like Charles hasn't got the memo or hasn't got the sense, and he's not going to abdicate. Because what they don't seem to understand is, again, they're arrogant, the rest of them, and they seem to think they can ride on her coattails and enjoy the same levels of popularity, and you can't. I will concede as well, I don't even have a problem with Camilla, who most people have an issue with. I've got a problem with Prince Charles. Camilla seems to just shut the fuck up and get on with it as well. Matthew C4 works hard, haha, lol, okay. Honestly, I will disagree with anyone who says that they don't work. The Queen, on a bog standard year, I remember reading she'd go to like 400 events in a year. And yeah, she's not carrying a fucking hod, Matthew. She's not, granted, she's not cleaning the sewers or putting up scaffolding like my mate Baz. Yeah, she's not a scaff. But that is hard work. Would you like to sit, dress up loads? I hate wearing a fucking suit. I hate it. It's like, because of my figure as well, because I do a lot of fizz, I've got really, really fat legs at the top and I can barely, if I get it fitting around my waist, it's tight as fuck around the top of my legs. I just find suits proper uncomfortable. So to me, getting dressed up in a daft suit and sitting there in a room full of cunts and listening to them talk shit for hours would proper do my head in. Like, again, you can disagree. It's fine. We like a debate on this channel. But I think that counts as work. You could literally do fuck all. But they do try. You'd never be right. I wouldn't want to. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't want to do it. I'm not saying it's hard as fuck graft. Yeah, of course. Yeah, go and clean the shitter for 12 hours. That's hard work. But that is work. You could just do what the likes of Ed would do, which appears to be the square root of fuck all, and still get paid for it. The Queen could be, and Prince Philip, could both be much, much, much lazier than they actually are, because there's almost no accountability. Like, if the Queen didn't do 400 engagements a year, she only did 20 engagements a year. No one's going to do anything about it. So the fact that she was doing the work that she did when she didn't really have a boss is encouraging, I think. Biden's fucking lazy. Biden doesn't do any fucking engagements or press. He's really lazy for a president. Because you can be lazy when you're a president. They're always moaning about him being on the golf course. If you haven't got a boss, you can be a lazy bastard. So when you get a president who's a lazy bastard, he does the same. And all I'm saying is, the likes of the Queen and Prince Philip could have been proper lazy bastards. And they weren't. They did used to do shit. Yeah, Patrick, honestly, here's a controversial statement, especially when you're women watching, because I know the chicks hate the horse-faced girlfriend. But I like Camilla more than I like Charles. Because all the accounts I've read of the general public talking to her and interacting with her said she's really sound. And the whole thing about Camilla is why everybody hates her is because they think she's a home wrecker. But again, I've read several stories about the royals. I'm not enthusiastic, but like I said, I'm a fucking voracious reader. So yeah, when I'm bored flicking through the Sunday papers, I've read plenty of stories about them. And apparently they were mega into each other for fucking years. And everybody knew it. The mistake they made with Charles was trying to get him to marry Diana when the chemistry wasn't there. From the very off, it just wasn't there. It was a political marriage like they used to do in the old days. And that's why they learnt the lesson. And William was allowed to shaft a commoner. Choose who he wanted. Same with Harry. Fucking hell. Harry, who's got worse taste in women than fucking... Was it Derek Brady who went out with Moira Hindley? That's worse taste in women than the bloke who was sticking his cock in Moira Hindley. That's how bad Harry's taste in women is. But that was why William and Harry were allowed to pick, because they learnt the lesson. And I feel as if you had a missus who you really liked, Camilla, and then you got forced to marry Diana for political reasons, you would find it hard to let her go. I don't think it was that big of a deal that Charles was shagging Camilla on the side, because Diana was shagging people on the side. The whole thing was that was a political marriage, and they both realised that it was a political marriage, so they both sort of shagged about a bit. I mean, fucking Princess Diana, again, seems a nice lass, but let's not pretend she was chaste and virtuous, was she? She was bumming loads of fucking people. Princess Diana should have had a mattress strapped to her back 24/7. She was shafting that Oliver Hoare, like an actor I think he was, or a doctor or something. She was bumming that Will Carlin. She was getting rogered by Hewitt. She was doing Charlie. There's 4. She was smoking Dodie's pole. Diana fucking loved it. So, and they're the ones we know about. So why don't we just forget about slagging off Charles just because he was donkeying one into the horse-faced lover? And it's not her fault she's got porridge face, like unstirred porridge. Is that her fault? Yeah, I'll take the piss out of her. But I really don't have a massive issue with Camilla at all. Charles is a bit of a knobhead because he's a fucking knobhead. He's a bit thick. He seems to have a particular fetish for everybody's favourite snack bar as well, doesn't he? Which I do not understand. Ollie, Diana was as gaming as a Parisian underpass. Like waving a stick in a cathedral. So yeah, I'm not I'm not having a pop with Camilla. I quite like her. Charles is a fucking dickhead, but I'm not having a pop with Camilla. Not her fault. Ian Brady, that's it. Ian Brady. Terrible taste in women. Just like Prince Harry. Yeah, a yawning hippopotamus. A gutted fireplace. That's another good one. Burst mattress. It's fucking loads. Yeah, so let's leave Camilla alone, shall we? Head like a bag of smashed crabs. She's got a face like a bulldog licking piss off a thistle. Anyway, yeah, that's enough. It's enough analogies one day. Short one, the Queen, please, Your Majesty, please get better. Because if you snuff it, we're in the shit. And even though I'm basically on the fence about the monarchs, I'm just about leaning into the keep it category. Because I like William, and most importantly than any of it, the enemy, which is the communists, the enemy despise the royal family. So I'm leaning towards fuck it, keep them, just because the communists despise them. If only for that. Welder's bench, plasterer's radio, they're all good. So let's do one more, shall we? Now that I'm up and running. Far more than fish, risks of rising EU-UK tensions. I hope everybody watched my BBC Spews when I discussed this. Those of you that haven't, I did talk about it at length. Basically, Douglas Murray wrote a great piece about it in The Sun. The BBC is underplaying what the French have done. The French seized a Scottish trawler. I think it was a scalloping vessel or something. They literally seized a British ship. And according to the BBC, because they're Europhile communist scum, they just told us, no, it's the rhetoric. No, they seized a British vessel, though. I hope everyone realises that the French are not our allies, and they never have been. They were selling the RG's fucking Mirage when we were fighting the cunts in the Falklands. The French have never been an ally of the British, and they never will be. The French change the mood like the weather. They're like a fucking mentally ill, herpes-riddled hooker that's trying to court a sailor and convince him that she loves him. That's how the French's relationship with us. They just lie. When it suits them, they go, oh, we love the British, our British germs. And when it doesn't suit them, they're like, fuck them. They stab you in the back. The proper sneaky bastards. The French are like Cersei Lannister if she was a country. Yeah? Sneaky bastards. The fact that they just fawn all over the Germans when they invaded them twice is fucking beyond. It shows you exactly what they're all about. The Brits are a little bit more principled. We're like, you know what? Even if this might be good for us, we're not causing up 100% with the Jerrys because, you know, there's history there. if you don't know. And the French, there's history there. So they're not our friends. People who go on about it, oh yeah, they're all right, the fucking French. No, they aren't. The French are sneaky bastards. Cersei Lannister of Europe, the Frenchman. Sneaky, lying, toady, weasel, rat-faced bastards. That's the French. Again, not the individual Frenchman. I don't want to be a collectivist. We actually, there was a French bloke, a good friend of mine, he went to school, university with a French guy who went to Teesside Uni. Sound as fuck he was. It was funny because after he spent 6 months hanging out with us, he's turned into a fucking Stella boy. So it's like, individual French, again, are all right. We are related to them. But the French government are as dishonest and backstabby and Machiavellian as they ever have been. So don't make the mistake of thinking these bastards who were selling missiles to the Argentinians while they were shooting them at us, don't make the mistake of thinking that the French are our pals, because they aren't, and they never will be. And again, you know what? Let's go the whole hog. Even that, I'm not chastising them for too aggressively. Yeah, they could be a little bit more honest, but at least if you do that and you're attempting to serve your own people, you can praise them for it, because this is what they should all be doing. Boris Johnson, I've joked about this many times because I use the analogy that it's like the Burger King CEO sitting at the desk and he says, right, boys, show me some new products. And this guy's like, oh, we've invented this new burger and it's the best burger you'll ever taste. It's absolutely bellissimo. If we bake this burger, it'll sell fucking millions. Everyone will want to taste it. And then the Burger King CEO going, oh yeah, but is it going to hurt McDonald's? Is it? Is it going to harm KFC? Oh yeah, well it might harm KFC because it'll sell so many. Oh well, we can't do that then. Oh, we can't do that. Got to worry about all the competitors. That's what Boris Johnson does. Spineless, saggy, fucking jellyfish that he is. I mean, look at the clip of him. Look at the clip of him there. He's got a body like a bin liner full of coleslaw. That's Boris Johnson. At least Macron looks like he could fight him. Well, maybe not. He's a little fucking weasel. Boris might just get him in headlock, but do some groundwork on him. But just a saggy mess, Boris Johnson. Shaggy hair, saggy face, bin liner full of coleslaw body. But at least Macron seems to stick up for his own. Macron was way better on the statue destruction than Boris was. Hiya, Paz, nice to see you in. Way better. The French, this is a guy who said he modelled himself on Winston Churchill. And when they were smashing all the statues up, he didn't say boot to a goose. The French president, who is a self-styled centrist that's never talked about how much he loves fucking Winston Churchill, he was better on the statues than Boris Johnson was, which is why I absolutely hate Boris Johnson. Rotten Politics is in and all now then. So I've got no fucking time for Boris, but in this issue, the French are out of order. You can't seize a British vessel and then tell me that we're the ones that have caused problems because of our rhetoric. I mean, think about that. That's almost like the old silence is violence thing. No, violence is violence. And we've used rhetoric, which is about there, and the French have seized a British vessel, which is about there. Then you go up to boot a British sailor in the bollocks. Call Boris's mum a slag. There's a threat level there. And they are the ones in violation because they seized a vessel and we merely called them a bunch of cheeky twats. I'm sorry, that doesn't make us the bad guys. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'll just quickly read some of this because this is ostensibly a news programme. It's there's a big post-Brexit moment for the UK brand, rebranded by the government as Global Britain. Expectations of a breakthrough may be limited, but the fight against climate change is a reminder of the many issues that unite France and the wider EU against post-Brexit UK. We don't hear much about those in the news these days. Sausage spats, fish fights, and a possible looming trade war is instead what dominates the headlines. So again, I don't want to go through the whole article because the BBC is deliberately dialing this down. But the short version is, they are the ones that are taking the piss on the dispute. Blatantly. They seem to think they can fish British waters, but then we can't fish French waters. And when we said, yeah, but you've got loads of your vessels still fishing in our waters, so we're going to send some to you guys, they then seized a Scottish vessel. So, fuck them. Emmanuel Macron is under massive pressure from the nationalist right in France in the lead up to next year's presidential election. That there probably seems to be the crux of this issue. Because Macron is trying to look like a tough guy because he's a sneaky, self-serving little centrist weasel who doesn't believe in anything. He doesn't believe in anything. He's like Biden, because Biden's a career politician as well. Again, we all know this one, right? Biden is not a communist. Biden's been in American politics for fucking 40 years. He's not even remotely left-wing, and he never has been. But he's a political animal, and he will believe in anything. He believes in everything and nothing. Anything to make him look better. So now he's believing in the communists, because it suits him. That's what Macron is. And Macron is a political animal. Typical fucking scumbag. I mean, like I said, I hate these people. I think I prefer people like Corbyn, because at least Corbyn is actually committed to his fucking dog shit ideology. Bernie Sanders is 100%. He's honest about how he feels about things. Bernie Sanders is a committed socialist. These fucking scumbags. Boris Johnson's the same. Macron, Johnson, Biden, they're all cut from the same cloth. 100%. They are career politicians, believe in everything and nothing. Self-service scum of the highest order with absolutely no morals. They'll believe what you need them to believe. They'll be anything you want them to be. So yeah, and we're back to pedos and suits. Yes, we are. We may as well be talking about Ian Huntley if he visited Savile Row. So it's just shocking. That's the story. It's not about the fish. It's about Macron attempting to act like a right-wing tough guy, sabre rattling, because he thinks he's going to get twatted in the next election because he's a know-nothing, self-serving shitbag, and every Frenchman with a beret can see it. Right? Easy. COP27 in Egypt. Why? I thought it has to be sorted now everyone's dead. Yeah, they've been saying that for 30 years, haven't they? What a shit. So, I think that's about it. I agree with rotten politics. Remove all the rights to fish. Again, we've always said this. The British are man enough to look after ourselves, and we are, more important than that, stubborn bastards. We make Gimli, son of Gloin, look like a temperate, pleasant fellow. We're stubborn bastards. Like I said, it got to the point with Brexit when it looked like they weren't going to do it. If they said to me, well, if we leave the EU, you'll lose the house. You won't be able to eat beef for 5 years. You won't be able to drink Kronenberg anymore. All the nice things I like. If they just said you can't do any of that, I'd be like, I don't care. Do it. Do it. Do it. I damn the fucking consequences, because it is the principle of the matter. It was the principle of the matter. And you guys know this, right? Bootneck didn't even vote in the referendum. I might be repeating myself to some of the long-term followers, but I'm sure Blue Van Man and a lot of the new guys have never heard. I didn't vote for Brexit. It seems like so long ago now. But I was living in California. I was on the fence because I could see negatives and positives to both. I leaned towards Brexit, but I thought, you know what, I'm not going to take the time to register to vote. It seems a bit dishonest and a bit out of order for an expat to be involving himself. So I didn't even vote for Brexit. I only turned into a Brexiteer out of principle. And that word, the P word, not penis, we use that word a lot on this channel, but principle. It was the principle of the matter. Because a free and fair referendum was held. And everybody turned out to vote. The turnout was high. And they won convincingly. Not by a landslide, but convincingly. 48 to 52, done and dusted. And only when it became clear that the elites refused to do as they were fucking told by the people that pay their bastard wages did I turn into Nigel Farage with fucking piles. Because of the principle. It's the principle of the matter. That's all that matters. If anything that matters in politics, it's the principle. Because the only reason we stopped stabbing each other in the face, lining up on a big field and killing each other, was because of the invention of democracy and the idea that you guys just pick someone, and if you lose, it's a bit shit. But after 4 or 5 years, then you get your chance for your guy to win again. And then we'll just keep doing that. And every few years, you have to deal with a shit sandwich and you'll be in a bad mood because the guy you like lost. But at least your children don't have to line up in a big field and fucking knife each other to death. And everyone said, yeah, great idea. We'll do that. It's a bit shit when our guy's not in, but we'll do it. And those two cataclysmic events, the refusal to accept Trump, who I didn't vote for, and the refusal to accept Brexit, which I didn't vote for, those two cataclysmic events turned me from the reasonable, left-leaning, centrist chap that I am at heart to a fucking dyed-in-the-wool Trumper, Brexiteer, side with the right wing on nearly everything, chippy, bad-tempered bastard. Because it's the fucking principle of the matter. Because if you ignore democratic votes, why not fucking kill each other? Why not? Why not? You don't think all the Trump voters are pissed off now Biden's in, the fucking senile, crusty, shit-covered old twat? But they're not just saying, right, no, we can't accept every single day for 4 years. Oh yeah, Russia. Doesn't matter how many fucking investigations they did. There was no evidence. There was no evidence. But for 4 years, he's not the president. He is. Even if you hate him, just accept it. That's why I'm a Brexiteer. That's why I make Nigel Farage look reasonable. Because of you bastards. And they're doing it now, trying to put the genie back in the bottle after cheating and lying. For 4 fucking years, they went after Trump's wife, kids, his son who's not even an adult. Went after his wife, kids, dog, eating habits, you name it. And now Biden has the brass neck to go on TV and go, oh, it's time for a kinder, gentler politics. Fucking are you taking the piss? 4 years calling his child a fucking cunt, a freak, calling his wife a whore. And now you think the Republicans are going to go, oh yeah, we've got to be nice to each other. Fuck off. It's just laughable. It's laughable. I'm amazed we didn't burn Parliament to the fucking ground. Some loony, you would think someone, some fucking nutter, would have went mental, pulled another Guy Fawkes, because they didn't do what they were told. They lost. And they looked for any way to weasel out of it. You're lost. And this is what I point out many times. If they had they kept saying, let's have another vote, they would lose every vote. Because millions of principled Remainers would not vote for Brexit again. I guarantee millions of people that voted for Remain would definitely not vote Remain again out of principle, even if they wanted to. You guys in here will get it, because most of you will be conservative or centrist people that believe in your word is your bond. They were never going to win a re-up, even if they got it. And again, I could have made some fucking great money betting, because I said it all the way through. And the polls proved me right. I said it from the very beginning. You're not going to win another vote. If we have another vote, you'll lose by more. Because principled Remainers would never, ever think of voting Remain again. They'd scrub the vote. They'd just go, you know what, I'm not turning out of principle. And I was proved right, because then we had another general election, and we had the European elections, and we had the local elections, and every single time the Brexiteers resoundingly twatted the Remainers because of principle. The P word matters to the great British public. It doesn't matter to our politicians and our leaders, but it matters to the fucking people. And that was as obvious as a punch in the face to anybody who's not a twat. All right, that's nearly 40 minutes. I'm going to have to fuck off. Thanks for watching. I only got 3:20 in tonight. That was a busy night. I guess I should totally fuck up the sound more often. Yeah, thanks for coming in. Rotten Politics, Blue Van Man, all the other YouTubers. Get back to work. We need to keep on pushing this fucking shit, because tell them and tell them and tell them again. We will not be talked down to by people that are not worthy of our fucking leavings. Boris Johnson's got the integrity of a registered sex offender. I won't be talked down to by these people, and we'll keep telling them until they get it. All right? Thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow.